Good evening. Welcome to Epiphany Lutheran Church in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Kevin Barger, the Director of Music Ministry, and we're glad you've joined us for Music Minute this evening, where we look at our hymns that we'll be using in worship this week. We're going to go all out of order this time, and we'll start with the sending hymn, Abide, O Dearest Jesus. This was written in 6 stanzas originally. It's acting on the request of the disciples on the Emmaus Road in the Gospel of Luke. And it comes to us from LBW, although we don't sing it very much here at Epiphany anyway. Perhaps other parishes do, but we don't. The German to English translation has preserved 2 very important text things. One is abide, and the other is among us. The tune was for an anonymous hymn that named it. And I want to play just quickly what that tune is, because in the arrangement that I'm going to play, it's hard to hear because it's a chorale prelude and it has a bunch of fancy stuff all around it. And you'll hear it, but it's a little slower. So this is the tune. So very short and sweet. See if you can find that in the chorale version of Abide, O Dearest Jesus. So maybe you found the tune in there. It was the little crumb horn, which is the reed sounding thing that was sounding. That was the melody, but it was a very slow, condensed version with all the ornamentation around it. Next, we are going to go to God of Light. And this was written by an author who was praying that in whatever darkness, sadness, or grief one may face, she or he would be submitted, resigned, and murmur not. And those are the words you'll hear as you sing through here. Each stanza ends with the petition from the Lord's Prayer, "Thy will be done." It was written to, quote, fulfill your purpose in the gift of Christ your Son. The tune was written one Sunday morning, just one Sunday morning, in the spring of 1941. It was written at Abbotsleigh, which is a village across the suspension bridge from Bristol. And it was actually written for the tune "Glorious Things of Thee Are Spoken," which you may recognize. So this is God of Light, sung and played to Abbotsleigh. We're going to switch over to the piano. You might recognize that as "Lord, you give the Great Commission," too. We've sung it probably more to that, the words, than these, Lord of Light. All right, we will move to the hymn of the day, and that's a new one from, not with one voice, All Creation Sings, and it's called Ask the Complicated Questions. And this hymn actually confronts the assumption that the church is a place for easy faith. It's with a text that invites questions, ideas, exploration. And for the hymn writer, complicated questions and disconcerting answers created room for the Holy Spirit to lead God's people into wisdom and a richer faith. The first three stanzas begin with the words ask, seek, and knock. So that's a reference to Matthew 7, which you'll get as you see that. The text is set to the shape note tune Resignation, and it sets a tone of resolve, commitment, sturdy, dexterity. It inspires singers to find the courage to wonder. Sylvia Dunstan was a hymn writer, and she was a United Church of Canada pastor. We've talked about her before. So it just shows you the great wealth of hymns that come from all over the world. So this is going to be a variation of Ask the Complicated Questions. You might recognize that tune. And last but not least, for communion, we're going to sing an oldie. This is What a Friend We Have in Jesus. This comes to us from Canada as well, and it was in the mid-1800s, though. It was for the comfort of the author's ill mother in Dublin. It's a little bit controversial hymn because it suggests to some that we can save ourselves solely by the work of our prayer, which of course we know not to be true, but some think that through the words of this. The writer was a graduate of the New York Albany Law School, and while he was born in Massachusetts, Charles Converse, traveled to Leipzig and spent much time there as well. So the tune is named Converse, which I believe was a German form of his name, so that's where that came from. So this is a little bit jazzier version of What a Friend We Have in Jesus. bit jazzy and grooving. So hope you enjoyed that. Thanks again for joining us this evening. If you're joining us tomorrow for worship, that will be at 8:30 and 10:30, and the 10:30 service will be live streamed on our YouTube channel. Thanks again for joining. Have a great evening.